Hi guys, today we are going to be knitting a scarf using only our hands and a ball of yarn. So first what you want to do is find the end of your yarn, which is somewhere. Oh, there's that. And then once you have the end of your yarn from the outside, there's also going to be a bunch from the inside. So just pull that out, and so you have two strands coming from the ball. You can drop the ball and find the end of this yarn. Okay. So we need So now you have two ends of yarn attached to the ball of yarn, or the skein of yarn, which is what they call it. So what we want to do is cast 8 stitches onto our arm. So what we need for that is to have about 3 feet for the tail. So about like that. And then what you want to do is, so what you're going to do is drape the yarn over your hand like this, and then pinch right underneath your fingers like this. Then what you want to do is twist and grab the yarn that's attached to the ball and pull it through that loop. And then you just made your first loop. So what we're going to do is go ahead and put that on our arm. Tighten it up a little bit. And there you have your first stitch. So next we want to add on the rest of our stitches. So what we want to do is grab the yarn that's attached to the ball, and we're going to drape it over our index finger, so it's between your index finger and your middle finger. Then you're just going to turn that over and grab with your ring finger and your pinky finger the rest of that's hanging. And then along with that is you want to grab the tail with the index and the pinky. So then it's going to look like this. So then what you want to do is go under and make a loop like this with your thumb. And then what you want to do is take your index finger and you want to go under the first one with your index finger, over the second one, and grab the one that's around your index finger. And then you just want to pull it. And then you have a little loop here, and you're going to add that also to your hand. So there's our second stitch. And then we want to do the same thing again to make the other ones. And we're going to be making 8 of them. So drape it over your index finger, twist it, and grab both the yarn that's attached to the ball as well as the tail with your ring finger and the pinky finger, so it looks like this. And then you want to use your thumb to make a loop. So we're going to be going, sorry, it's hard to do this on a camera. So to make that loop like this, and then you want to grab your index finger. Use your index finger to go under the first strand, over the second strand, and grab this last strand and pull it up. And then there's our third stitch. And we're going to do it again. Drape it over, turn, use your pinky and your ring finger to grab the excess yarn, and then use that thumb to go and make a loop. And then you're going to go under, over, and grab. There's our fourth stitch. Do the same thing again. Under, over, and grab that stitch. That should be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5. We want 8 though. So that's 6. That's 7. And that's 8. So now we have our 8 stitches on our hand here. So next what we want to do is start knitting with our 8 stitches here. So we're not going to need the tail of yarn anymore. We're just going to be using the yarn that's actually attached to the ball of yarn. So take your arm here and grab the yarn in your hand and take this first loop. Remember, both of the strands of string are one loop together. We're acting as if they're one yarn. It's just going to make it thick, the scarf thicker. So what you want to do is pull that loop over your hand, and then you have made yourself another little loop here. You're going to put your hand in there, and then you're just going to tighten it so it's nice and tight to your arm. Turn it toward yourself, sorry. Like that. And then you're going to do the same thing with the next one. You're going to make that loop, and you're going to put it on. And you're going to keep doing the same thing. Pull it off your hand, put that loop onto the next hand like that. And again. Off your hand and onto your arm. It's getting a little bit messy over here. That's also important, is to keep your yarn nice and not tangled. Okay. And here's our last one. So there we have our first row of stitches. So now we're going to go ahead and make our second row. So what we're going to do is hold it with our left hand now, and we're going to take the loop off, turn it to yourself, and again we're going to tighten that to our wrist. There's another one. Turn it to ourselves and tighten. I'm missing a strand. There it is. And there we have our second row. Now we're going to move on to our third row. So the same thing, pull over, make that loop, turn it towards yourself, and tighten that knot. And then again. And there's our third. So see how much progress we've already made. It goes by really quickly. Now we're going to do the same thing with this hand. There's our fourth. And we're going to continue to do this until we've done about 26 rows. Okay, so once you have about 26 rows, wrap it around and just make sure that it's long enough for you. So that's probably going to be long enough. So once your scarf is the right length, what you want to do is bind it off. So how you're going to do that is knit two just like you would. So there's one. And then there's two. And then what you want to do is take the first one, the one that's closest to you, and pull it over like that. And then you're going to do another one. And pull it over. And another one. Oops, sorry. And pull that over. And another one. Pull that over. And another one. Tighten it a little bit. Pull it over. And another one. Pull it over. Kind of try and keep it tight. Then your last one. And pull that over. And then what I like to do is cut this yarn here and pull it through the loop that your hand was in. And pull it as tight as it will go. And there you have the bind off. So now we have our scarf here. And now we have to attach the ends. So to make it an infinity scarf, if you want to attach the edges, you could just leave it like this, like a regular scarf. But if you want to attach the edges to make it an infinity scarf, what you want to do is lay out your scarf. I'll turn the camera here in a second. And then fold it in half so that the edges are meeting. So here I have my edges together. And then what we're gonna do, how should I put the camera? We'll go like this. Okay, here we go. You can kind of see that, eh? All right, so we have one edge here and one edge on top of it. And we're going to take the yarn that we cut and weave it through the other end. And then back through. So you want to try and get each stitch that you made, you want to try and weave it through each stitch. until you get to the end. And then with your tail, the piece that was left dangling, you're just going to tie it in a knot with that piece. Pull it tight, and then clip off the extra yarn. Okay, and there you have an infinity scarf. Do it up, just like that, and it's done.